Good morning, children. Welcome back to our online class Science 1 subject. I am Mrs. Kala. In the previous video, we saw physical quantities and also we saw the fundamental quantities and units. I hope you understood. Yes, need. What is the unit of length? Meter. Very good. What is the unit of temperature? Kelvin. Okay. Already we discussed we have 7 fundamental quantities. First 3 fundamental quantities already studied in our lower classes, isn't it? In this 8th standard level, we are going to see remaining 4 fundamental quantities. Look at the figures, students. Identify which of these objects are hot or cold. The figures are given: ice cream, then hot iron box, then fire and ice cubes. So you know the answers, isn't it? Ice cream and ice cube. The objects are cold. Then hot iron box and fire. Both objects are, it undercomes the category is hot. How do you decide which is hotter or which one is colder? So we have to decide the degree of hotness or the coldness of an object. We need some of the quantity. Afterwards only we could able to decide it undercomes the hotness or in the chillness. It's needed. So that is only we have to taken as a next physical quantity is taken as a temperature. So already you know this is the 4th fundamental quantity in our physical quantities is needed. So the 4th one is taken as a temperature. So the temperature is taken as a physical quantity that express the degree of hotness or coldness of a substance. And already you know the SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. Not only we are using the unit Kelvin, it could able to express in some other the scales also. One is taken as a Celsius, second one is Fahrenheit, and third one you have taken as already you know Kelvin. So Celsius, Fahrenheit, Kelvin are most commonly used scales to measure the temperature. So afterwards one question will come is later. Which instrument is used to measure the temperature directly? Already you have the experience also is needed. So how we could able to measure the temperature directly? Yes, thermometer is used. So in the clinic also we could able to see the doctors are using is needed. Afterwards only they could able to measure the human body temperature. Afterwards only they could able to say whether fever or not. So that place they are using the temperature. The human body temperature they could able to measure. So the thermometers are used to measure the temperature directly. You see the figures also, the different kinds of the temperatures are given and the thermometers are given, and it graduated the different scales also, Fahrenheit scale or Celsius scale or in the Kelvin scale also. So in these the thermometers we could able to say what is the lower fixed point and what is the upper fixed point. Based on this only we could able to measure the temperature of an object. So already you know the melting point of ice is the pure ice, the melting point of the ice value is taken as 0 degrees Celsius. So in this thermometers the melting point of pure ice is taken as a lower fixed point. It is denoted by the simple LFP. So in the Celsius scale we have to taken as The LFP values, that is a lower fixed point value, is taken as 0 degree Celsius value. This is taken as a starting value. Suppose we got to use the Fahrenheit scale values is the lower fixed point value is 32 degree Fahrenheit. Suppose we are to use the Kelvin scale, the LFP value is 273 Kelvin. So once again we got to repeat the same thing. The lower fixed point of Celsius is 0 degree Celsius, Fahrenheit is 32 degree Fahrenheit, and Kelvin scale is 273 Kelvin. Based on which value? The melting point of pure ice only. And now let us consider the pure ice is melted, and afterwards it comes for what? Boiling. So already you know the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. So the boiling point of water is taken as upper fixed point of thermometers. It's an important one more question. In the thermometers, the melting point of pure ice is taken as lower fixed point. The boiling point of water is taken as upper fixed point of the thermometers. So we could able to move on to the what are the readings on the different scales. So the upper fixed point in the Celsius scale, it is denoted by 100 degrees Celsius. In the Fahrenheit scale, 212 degree Fahrenheit, and Kelvin scale 373 Kelvin. 373 Kelvin. So the upper fixed point values for the different scales are Celsius is 100 degrees Celsius is starting value, and Fahrenheit 212 degree Fahrenheit, and Kelvin scale 373 Kelvin. So based on this only the readings are graduated in the thermometers used by the different scales. Okay, so here the different number of the divisions also is included in the thermometer. So in the Celsius scale, they are taken as upper fixed point value is 100 degrees Celsius, and lower fixed point value is 0 degrees Celsius. 100 minus 0 is equal to 100. So the number of divisions in the thermometer is 100. In the Fahrenheit scale, the upper fixed point value is 212 degree Fahrenheit. In the lower fixed point value is 32 degree Fahrenheit. So what is the difference between 212 and 32? Yes, it gives us 180. So the number of divisions in the thermometer is graduated. The Fahrenheit scale is 180 number of divisions. And Kelvin scale, in the upper fixed point value is 373 Kelvin, and lower fixed point value is 273 Kelvin. So the difference between 373 and 273, it gives us 100. So these are the number of the divisions in the thermometer. I hope you understand. So next we are to move on to the conversions of the scales of temperatures, because we are using the three kinds of the scales we are using. So the general formula is, that is C minus 0 by 100 is equal to F minus 32 by 180 is equal to K minus 273 by 100. Based on this, we could able to convert. If you know the Celsius scale, we could able to convert the Fahrenheit scale as well as in the Kelvin scale. Suppose you know the value of Fahrenheit scale, we could able to convert the remaining two scales, Celsius and the Kelvin scale. Suppose you know the value is Kelvin scale, we could able to convert into Celsius and the Fahrenheit scales also. We could able to explain later for the regarding sums. Okay, so see the figure also. Here the boiling point of the water and the freezing point of the waters are given, is graduated in the scales. That is, see the diagram also. First we got to move on to the Fahrenheit scale. In the freezing point of water, that is only is taken as a melting point of ice. In the Fahrenheit scale, it's given as 32. And to the upper fixed point value is given as 212. and correspondingly in the Celsius scale 0 and 100. And this is also is taken as what? In the Kelvin scales also the readings are graduated. So we could able to use this formula, we could able to find out to the order. The different the scale values as we could able to convert. Okay, the regarding sums we will discuss in the next video. Okay, so next we have to move on to what are the applications of the thermometers. The thermometers is used in the clinics. Already I said is needed. So the doctors are using the thermometers called as clinical thermometers. It is graduated in Fahrenheit scale. Already you know in the human body temperature. Now the COVID-19 also already you know that one. The human body temperature is 98.4 degree Fahrenheit to 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. This is the normal temperature of the human body. So in the doctors are measuring the Fahrenheit scale readings as only. And second use of the thermometer is the thermometers are used by scientists. They are using the Kelvin scale. And third one, the common temperature measurements are made in Celsius scale. For example, weather reports. So in the everyday news we are getting the weather reports also, isn't it? They are using only the Celsius scale. For example, a temperature of Chennai, today's temperature of Chennai is 30 degrees Celsius or 35 degrees Celsius. They are reading the news like that, isn't it? So these are the uses of the various thermometric scales. So one is the clinical thermometers graduated in Fahrenheit scale. Scientists are using the thermometers, they are using the Kelvin scale, and to the common temperature measurements is made in the Celsius scale. Example, weather reports are given. So students, we discussed the fourth fundamental quantity, temperature. So next we got to move on to the next fundamental quantity is electric current. Already you know the current. Without the current or in the electricity, we could not able to survive nowadays, isn't it? So the first we have to move on to what is current. The current is nothing but the amount of electrical charges flowing through a conductor in 1 second. So 1 second, how much amount of the electrical charges is moving from one point into the another point in the metallic conductors. That only is given as a electric current. The current, it is denoted by the symbol is capital I. The charge, it is denoted by the symbol is capital Q, and time, it is denoted by the symbol is T. Using this definitions, we could able to write the current formula also, that is I is equal to Q by T. That is only is given. And the SI unit of the electric current is ampere. Already we saw in the tabular column is needed. In the first video already we discussed. The unit of electric current is ampere, the name of the scientist. And the unit of the electrical charge is coulomb, the name of the scientist. They already you know the unit of the time is second. So next we have to move on to what is 1 ampere or define 1 ampere. So in this place the electric current is nothing but charge per time. Current is nothing but what? Charge by time. The unit of charge is 1 coulomb. The unit of time is 1 second. Based on this only we could able to explain 1 ampere. So the 1 ampere is defined as 1 coulomb of charge moving in a conductor in 1 second. So 1 second, 1 coulomb of the charges are moving. This value only is given for 1 ampere. Students, I hope you understand. The current is nothing but electrical charges flowing through a conductor in 1 second or charge per unit time. And the 1 ampere is 1 coulomb of charge The unit of electric charge is 1 coulomb. So before the electrical charge, you have to add the word is 1 coulomb. So 1 coulomb of charge moving in a conductor in 1 second. That is only is that taken as a definition of 1 ampere. So next one question will come is which instrument is used to measure the electric current? So here the ammeter, see the figure also, ammeter is used to measure the electric current. The readings are graduated in ampere. In the laboratories we could able to measure the smaller amount of the current only. The readings are graduated in milliampere. And we could able to find out the what is the direction of the current also used by the some other instrument. The instrument is called as galvanometer. So the galvanometer is an instrument. It is used to measure the direction of the current, which direction the current is passes through the circuit or in the metallic conductor. Students, what is the use of ammeter? Ammeter is used to measure the amount of electric current. And what is the use of galvanometer? It is used to measure the direction of the current only. It is used to find out the direction of the current. Are you understand, children? So we discussed what is temperature and what is electric current. So 2 physical quantities are over. I hope you understand. So now let us see the figure. What is this? Coins is stated. Let us consider as a copper coins. It looks like that only, I think so. Can you count the number of copper coins in the picture? Yes. How many? 6. Okay, very good. Can you count the number of copper atoms in the coin? Copper atoms. Already you know atoms is needed. Atoms is taken as a very smallest particles. That is only is called as atoms. Already you studied in the 7th standard. I think so. Okay. So can you count the number of copper atoms in a coin? No. It's very difficult to count the number of atoms because the atoms are not visible. Because it's a very, very smallest particles only we have to call it as what? Atoms. So in this place we could able to find out the number of the atoms present in the the copper coin we could able to measure, not in the direct way, we could able to use in the indirect method. So we could be able to use what method? In the indirect method. So there is an indirect method to count the number of the atoms or molecules in a substance in the multiples of mole only. So that is a quantity is taken as another quantity that is taken as amount of substance. So already you know this is the one of the physical quantities needed, that is the fundamental quantity, that is amount of substance. So next we got to move on to what is amount of substance. So the amount of substance is a measure of the number of entities. Entities means particles. It may be an atom or molecule or electron or in the protons present in a substance. So how many number of the particles are present in a substance, that is only is used to measure. That measuring quantity only we have to call it as amount of substance. Amount of substance. So the amount of substance is a measure of the number of entities or particles present in a substance. What do you mean by particles? The particles means what? Maybe an atom or molecule or ions or electrons or protons, etc. Okay. So the SI unit of amount of substance is mole. The SI unit of what? The amount of substance is mole. Already you know that one, mole. It is denoted by the symbol is MOL. Generally, The amount of the substance is directly proportional to the number of the atoms or the molecules present in the substance or in the element. Based on this only we could able to calculate. Are you understand, students? Okay, so next we got to move on to what is the definition of the unit of amount of substance. Already you know the unit of amount of substance is mole. So we got to move on to what is or define 1 mole. So the mole is defined as the amount of the substance which contains 6.023 into 10 power 23 entities. 6.023 into 10 power 23 is nothing but Avogadro number. The name of the scientist, he gave the value as well as the law also. The amount of the substance which contain 6.023 into 10 power 23 particles, that is only is taken as the definition of the 1 mole. Students, I hope you understand what is amount of substance and what is the definition of the mole. So based on the atoms only we could able to measure. So the amount of the substance which contains 6.023 into 10 power 23 entities are in the particles. So we discussed what? The electric current and also the amount of the substance. So next we got to move on to the last fundamental quantity, luminous intensity. What is this? Luminous intensity. Luminous means light. Luminous means what? Light. Intensity is taken as is depending upon the brightness. You know the sun is taken as a what? The source of light. Already you know, isn't it? The morning time and also in the evening time we could able to see the sun directly. At the same time, in the noon time, we could not able to see directly because of the brightness. Isn't it? And for example, we have taken as, let us consider as a torchlight, or we have to consider as a candle light. Which one is brighter? That is a torchlight. Isn't it? So it's depending upon the intensities only we could able to differentiate the lights also. That only we are going to discuss in the luminous intensity. So the luminous intensity is nothing but the measure of the power of the emitter light source in a particular direction per unit solid angle is called luminous intensity. So the light source, it's emitted the source is emitted the light. The light is moves in a particular direction. Let us consider as a torchlight, or we have to consider as a light in our home also, tube light or LED bulbs also we have to consider. Here the light rays are travel in the different directions, isn't it? And also it makes in a particular angle. Afterwards only we could able to measure the luminous intensity. The measure of the power of the emitter light by a light source in a particular direction per unit solid angle is called as luminous intensity. So one question will arise in our mind is, what is solid angle? So the solid angle is nothing but the angle is formed by 3 or more planes are intersecting at a common point. So let us consider 2 or 3 planes are intersecting at a particular one point. It makes a circular path. Let us imagine, and afterwards it forms as a what? A particular angle. This angle is called as a solid angle. So this solid angle we will discuss later in the same chapter also. Okay, so the solid angle is nothing but the angle formed by 3 or more planes intersecting at a common point. That only is called as what? Solid angle. So the source is emitted a light. The light is moves in a particular direction and it is makes in a particular angle is called as luminous intensity. The SI unit of the luminous intensity is candela. Already you know, is candela. It is denoted by the symbol is smallest CD, candela. Okay. So next we got to move on to one candela. So the light emitted from a common wax candle is approximately equal to one candela. So let us consider the source is wax candle. Wax candle we have to take as. Now the candle is burning or it comes for the lightning and it gives us a light is needed. The light is comes from the candle. It gives us a certain intensity. That intensity value is approximately equal to 1 candela. For example, we could able to say, for example, the smallest bulb or in the LED bulb 40 watts or we have to consider the 15 watts like that. So we could able to express in the candela also. Let us imagine, for our understanding only I am saying, it's not a correct value, it's approximately we have to say. For example, the 40 watts LED bulb, it gives us 100 candela. So its comparison here, the 40 watts the bulb, the intensity value is equal to 100 times of the wax candle. So it comes for the lighting, afterwards only it gives like that. So the one candela is nothing but the light emitted from a common wax candle is approximately equal to one candela. So the luminous intensity can be measured by a photometer. See the figure also. It's used to measure what is the luminous intensity. Mostly the luminous intensity can be measured by in the cricket places only. The umpires mostly used to checking the intensity of the light as perceived by the human eye. That is only the instrument used, that is taken as a photometer. So the photometer is used to measure the luminous intensity values. Students, I hope you understand what and all we discussed in this video. I hope you understand. Okay, so what and all we discussed? First we discussed temperature. Second we discussed electric current. Third we discussed the amount of substance. And fourth we discussed the luminous intensity. Okay students. Now students, write these questions and answers in your notebook. Afterwards learn. Okay. Yes, learning also is very important in the online classes. Afterwards, write a test and send it to your class science 1 teacher's WhatsApp number. Don't post in your class group. Okay? Write down these questions. Thank you, children. We will see in the next video. Be safe. Stay home.